Hey guys, just hanging out. Tomorrow night I'm going to go play with my buds down at the shack. And a friend of mine decided he was going to build Marwyn. Marwyn? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this properly. So, Marwyn the Nurturer. This is the deck that he's building. I've built this before, and this deck can get really crazy really fast. Now, mind you, this is mono green. And if you're playing with tons of interaction and people are messing with your board state, then yes, it's not going to go so well. But mono green tends to do this where people look at the board state like, nah, okay, oh, it's just a mana dork, or it's just this or that, and they let it go for a little too long, and then all of a sudden it just goes off. So if you're playing against a mono green deck, don't let it develop. Anyway, Marwyn. What does Marwyn do? Well, it's an elf, so you can do tribal. You kind of want to lean towards tribal because it matters when an elf comes into play. She gets bigger, and not just in terms of a body to attack, because you can get her big enough to do lethal commander damage, but she taps for a lot of mana. So let's read Marwyn. 3 mana, 1 green pip, 2 colorless, a 1/1 body. That's not impressive, right? She's an elf druid. Legendary creature. Okay. Whenever another elf enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Marwyn. Oh, that's pretty good. And then add a green mana equal to Marwyn's power. So, she's a mana dork. And if dork offends you, I'm sorry. That's sort of the terminology that people use. So, a mana elf. When she taps, you get green mana according to how big her power is. And for one, the way she is on her own, for 3 mana, a 1/1 mana dork is not very tempting. But when you can get her big, it's crazy. Let me show you a couple of fishbowls I did, and then I'll come back to the deck. This is turn 5, so I had 4 turns. I'm on turn 5. Look at the board state. So I can bounce Priest of Titania. Let's just do that. Pay 1, bounce. This is turn 5. Cast her. She has haste because of Concordant Crossroads. Now, if you play Concordant Crossroads, I would suggest you play this when you're trying to go for a win. If you're going to play it out there ahead of time before you're trying to go off, you give your opponents haste with their creatures, and nobody likes commanders out there to have haste and come swinging right off the bat, because that's a very powerful ability to have in Commander. Anyway, so you want to try to do it on your turn, and if you leave it out there, it could get removed, right? So you want to try to do it when it's on your turn. That's all I'm going to say about Concordant Crossroads. Anyways, I recast this. I'm going to add another 7 mana to my pool. And what am I netting there? So if I do it again, cast her again, tap her down, and Marwyn can tap for 9 now, and she gets bigger every time I do this. So I'm netting 1 mana each turn, right? I think that's the way it is. Anyways, I can continuously do that until I have infinite mana. Once I have, forget what's in my hand. These are mainly fight spell, destroy target artifact or enchantment, sort of filter to the top of your deck. With Sensei's Top, my favorite artifact, I love this artifact. I put it in all my commander decks. You want shuffle effects in your deck, okay? Because being able to reshuffle your library is important. Anyhow, so with infinite mana, and I could get it, I'm yielding 1 extra turn, I believe. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. I'm going to go ahead and play Regal Force a bazillion amount of times and draw my whole deck. Right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards for 7 mana. Not bad. Right, then I'll be able to get into creatures that untap other creatures, creatures that untap target land, and then I just got... Anyways, and then Crater Hoof for the win. So that's a turn 5. It's not bad. Again, Marwyn, she's very powerful. So I'll be very interested to see how my friend built his version of Marwyn. But yeah, this is gross. Now my deck, just FYI, I do have a lot of elves, but I have a lot of other utility creatures that go good in green that allow me to do other things. Because let's face it, you're not always going to be unimpeded in an EDH game or a commander game by turn 5, right? Most likely you're going to get affected. Your board state's going to get affected. So what's the other one? This is again turn 5. Look at this. Look at all these cards in my hand. What do I have? 48 cards in my hand. Okay, this is a win on this turn. I can go infinite mana, I believe. Win with Azuri Overrun. There's a Crater Hoof there. I could do it with that. Go tutor whatever creature I want. I don't have haste. Maybe that's holding me up. That might be holding me up, actually. But I can attack for a lot of damage. I need something to give me haste in this spot, I guess. I have Concordant Crossroads in the deck. Is there a way to get to it? Draw, maybe? Even in saying that, I can untap with this and give myself 17 mana and go ahead and maybe play Vorniclix or Bane of Progress to destroy all creatures, exile 2 things, right? So 10 mana and 7. Oh, I could almost do a Crater Hoof and that Ulamog, I guess. But there's a Crater Hoof there. Anyways, I can do a lot of different things at this point. I wonder if no, I can't play. I already played a land. But still, on turn 5, to have this kind of a board state, I can also do this, right? Like, yeah, I should be able to get it now. I can just top all of these with Scroll Rack and get my let's see. Give all my creatures haste would be nice. Yeah. Hornet Queen into Crater Hoof, I guess. That'd be nice. You know what? Let's. If I get an Oracle, I'll put that land down and be able to win. Leave the Crater Hoof. Ooh, I'll leave that. And you. Done. Did I get Quarter Crossroads? I think I should have. Excuse me. Oh, I've got to pile this back. Oh, there's Oracle. Did I have Oracle already? That's not good. I need to draw that card. Ooh, there's Cradle. Oh. I'm so bad at this game. So I should have taken more time there and really thought about how to play this out. So I had a win from this spot. Like, I just had to map it out. And let me tell you, it's not always easy, right, guys? Because mapping out a win sometimes, it takes a lot of thought and concentration. Really, you'll never be able to do it quickly unless you're a very good pilot of your deck. Like, you know your deck in and out, you know what your lines are, and you're going to go for it. Where's there's Concordant. So if I were to return, untap this creature, return a forest, tap this for 17 mana, play a Concordant, pay 1. Where's my Crater Hoof? Should I do it? No, not yet. Do I have a draw effect? Do I have... Yeah, I do. Should play this first. So now I'm drawing every time I play an elf. Right. Oh, drawing 2 cards. This is fantastic. I better be careful. What's my 38 cards? Yes. I even have Svala, Kozilek. So yeah, that's a turn 5 win. Now, again, you got to remember something, that this is fishbowling and... or I believe it's called fishbowling. I could be wrong on that term too. But anyways, you're testing out, you play testing a deck. It's unimpeded. It's no one's interacting with me. If you really want to try something, take a 6-sided die, give it a roll, and say the number it lands on is the number your general is going to be removed. Right? So we just play that way. I'll remove my general. He's out of play. But anyways, this is a win from this spot. Turn 5. What's this one? This was a turn 3. Oh, that's right. I still haven't played this out yet. So, I mean, let's do this. We'll grow Marwyn. Oh, maybe that was a bad idea. I can tap her for 3 mana. Using 1 to cast this. Use another one to untap her. So now I have 5 mana. 5 mana, I'll play a Pelucranos. Oh my god, I can't speak. Pelucranos. This, by the way, is not an elf, as you've noticed. That's fine. When you get tons of mana, you can clear the board by shooting creatures down. If you go infinite mana, just clear the entire board, and it's direct damage. Now, obviously, there's ways to get around it. Hexproof, your creatures are indestructible, and whatnot. But it's in here for essentially a sweeper. Same with Silklash Spider, because I don't have elves, don't typically have reach. So you're a little vulnerable in the air. So this will, you'll play this on infinite mana. You can just clear the board as well at any time. And the 1 mana I will get will be it will let's see, I think a tutor fauna shaman. That's on top. So this is turn 3. I've stalled myself out. There may have been a better draw there, like maybe a draw cards, like a Regal Force would have been possibly better in that spot to try to go for a win on turn 4. And it's quite possible with the amount of mana I can generate, right? I can do, let's see, no. Let's see how much mana I can generate. Leave this up. Maybe I should. I like tapping with creatures, or maybe not. Use my land. The reason I like creatures is because they're vulnerable. If you're not attacking with them, you should be tapping. But in this deck, I could Crater Hoof, right? Potentially, if I had a way to draw cards. So I could have... let's see, untap, target elf, 15, I can do it again for another 5. I have access to 20 mana on turn 4. So 20 mana, I mean, yes, I don't have a way to get or generate card revenue here, like card draw, but I can go ahead and pitch this Silklash Spider to the Fauna Shaman, go get a Regal Force, and draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the Regal Force. With access to 20 mana, you can do a lot. There might have been a better line there, but I haven't played this deck in so long. The point is, Marwyn is pretty broken. I mean, It's not broken in the sense like, oh, it's everybody should be playing it in CDH, because obviously everybody plays with an interaction and you're not always going to go off, but you're constantly doing things. And that's why I like to add cards is that aren't just elves, that are things like Pelucranos, because even on its own, Pelucranos is a 5/5 for 4 mana. That's pretty good. Right? A 2/7 reach for 5 mana. Sorry, did I say 5 for Pelucranos? 4 mana. Silk Lash for 5. Destroy all flying creatures. Deal damage to all ground creatures. Does this say planeswalkers? No. Yeah, just creatures. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat. So, 21 mana if I want to count this. But let's end that there. And then go to turn 5. Oh, look at that. That is fan-frickety-tastic. Let's pitch that. Regal Force, where are you, my friend? Always yield. Regal Force, there you are. So, let's play you first. Tap all of this for Regal Force. Always yield. Look at all this card draw. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Hello. Hello? I'll come move my car, yeah. Okay, bye. Sorry. Husbandly duties call, right? Gotta go move the car. Anyways, look at this. Cradle for my land drop. Do I have haste? I do not have haste. What do I need? I need the ability to... Let's see. Untap this. Return this force to my hand. Maybe I shouldn't have done it that way. Always yield. I will say yes. What are my options? Crater Hoof? Oh, so many options. Oh, what does he say? Whenever you tap a land, add 1 mana can produce. So it just gives me 1 extra for Cradle. I want this untaps all my creatures. Where is it? Where is it? Great Oak Guardian is what I want. We'll tap this. Play the Great Oak Guardian. Untap all my creatures. We'll pay 1 to pitch this to go get Teamer Sabertooth. Teamer Sabertooth. Teamer Sabertooth here. Actually, no, cancel. Let's play Selvala first. Yeah, let's do you. This way. Play the Teamer Sabertooth. Always yes, always yield. Use the 2 mana. Always yes and always yield. Use it to return Great Oak Guardian. Play the Great Oak Guardian. And now it's a win on turn 5. I may have been able to do this a turn earlier. I'd have to go through my lines better. But anyways, that's Marwyn. Here's the deck. Right. 27 lands. None of them are really good except for Gaia's Cradle and Reliquary Tower. 2 fetch lands. This Wirewood Lodge is important, and Yavimaya Hollow. The rest are all forest. You can include better fetch lands in here. Maybe all the green ones because you want shuffle effects for Scroll Rack. I don't have it online, but if you do in paper, yeah, great. Just as long as you have shuffle effects. Scroll Rack's a winner. Concordant Crossroads. There are some mana elves. Tutor. Card draw. You all know what the top does. Mana, draw, tutor. Finn's in here because if I can resolve, where is it? Hornet Queen. That gives me, what, 4 flying 1/1 green creatures with Death Touch. And Hornet Queen itself has Death Touch. So the 5 flyers. Sometimes you get in a situation where you resolve this. People are like, okay, I can take 5 points of damage, right? Is it 5? No, 6 points of damage in the air. I can handle that. But then you resolve Finn, and now all of a sudden it's lethal. They either need to block, and if they can't block, you're killing a person with poison counters. Finn is pretty good. I've won, I think, maybe once or twice like that, and that's a good feeling. And people are like, damn. So 2 cards. So you set it up, play a Hornet Queen, pass to your turn, your board state's untouched, I resolve Finn, and I swing for lethal on someone. It's pretty good. So that's why that's in there. More for flavor than for this deck. But still, even when you get to tons of mana, having a flying army with Death Touch is pretty good to have. But I wanted a way to win without having to put counters on that, and that's why I have Finn. What else? Heroic Intervention, because you know why you should play that card. I'll just pause there. Read. Regrowth to regrow something. Untap lands. Sylvan Library to filter the top. Sylvan Scrying to go get Gaia's. Lightning Greaves. Scroll Rack. Beast Within removal. Tutor. Tokens. Draw. Destroy. This, I was going to take this out, but I put it back in because when you give Marwyn, let's say you have 5 elves out, tap this, give Marwyn 5, and if she's already got 5, or let's say 4 on her, you're tapping for 10 mana. It's pretty darn good. Dosen, because as you can see, people see a bunch of mana dorks, and you're like, they tend to leave you alone for the most part. And then you go Dosen, and they're like, okay, all right, what's the worst that can happen? And then you go into like a tirade of drop land, untap creatures, tap for more mana, draw more cards, and people are like, ah. So he's a way to ensure that no one interacts on your turn when you're trying to go off. Elvish Archer, mana, Anthem, Eternal Witness, because who doesn't like to regrow stuff from their yard all the time? Azuri to give you sort of a overrun effect. Mana. This Cloudstone is my favorite card in Magic. I think I have the Masterpiece. Great art on that card, by the way. ETB effects are always going to be around. Magic will always print cards with ETB effects. So Cloudstone Curio has new toys almost every set. So I love that card. It connects always. It's always relevant if you play a Cloudstone Curio deck, because again, an ETB effect is one of those things that always happens in Magic. almost in every set. I could be wrong, but that's, I think, fairly accurate. Anyways, it's my favorite card, and if I can abuse this and put it in my deck, I do. It also helps me to go off, bouncing Regal Force, untapping. Let's say I have a way to untap Marwyn, tap for tons of mana, play a creature, bounce Regal Force, replay Regal Force, draw tons of cards. Where was I? Okay. How did I get there? Here, Elvish Piper drops cards in. Where was I? Oh, Cloudstone Carrier. That's right, my favorite card. How could I forget? 1,000-year elixir, because it gives your mana dorks and Marwyn haste, and you can tap her, which is important. Elvish Piper to drop big things out of your hand. Null Mage to control the board. Oakham Adversary, draw, also an elf, also has Death Touch. Oracle, because you get land advantage with this card. Maybe Azusa could fit in this deck. Playing 3 lands is pretty good. Toski. Now, Toski, probably my favorite card from Kaldheim. This squirrel is... I love this. This is my favorite little pet. One of my favorite green decks is a Toski deck. He's a good draw engine. If you don't play with this card, and you play green and you have creature strategy, I suggest you add Toski to your deck, because you're going to be drawing lots of cards. Vizier to play off the top of my deck. Beast Whisperer to draw. This is just an elf. Anthem. This could be replaced with another elf. Garuk to untap lands, because who doesn't like to untap a Gaze Cradle, right? You tap for like 10 mana, untap it again, and tap it again. Oh, fantastic. This destroys artifacts, draw cards, wipe the board. Questing Beast, because this thing's just, it's awesome. It's also got Death Touch. Surak, because it gives a creature haste, and giving something like Kolga haste is pretty darn good. He's also a human. It works really well with Kolga. Gives it haste, and then you can bounce Surak to give Kolga indestructible. Teamer is your kind of win con in here. Yeva to just... She's an elf, and basically this allows you to play this deck like a blue deck. It's only for creatures though, which is unfortunate, but just being able to like flash in mana elves at the end of the turn and untap, be able to use them right away is really good. Genesis to regrow creatures from your yard. Asceticism. Steel Clash. Garuk, he makes tokens and draws cards. Great Oak is part of the win condition. Bane of Progress is good. Rickshar's Expertise. Soul to Harvest. Woodland Bellower. Kolga. Worldbreaker. Hornet Queen. Regal Force. If you notice, Vorniclex, Craterhoof, Eugene, the Great Henge, and 2 Eldrazi's. That's the deck. If you notice, I have a lot of ways to destroy enchantments and artifacts. Because let's be honest, enchantments and artifacts are always a problem in every commander deck. There's always... Tell me the last time you can think of a commander game when there wasn't an artifact or enchantment you wanted to get rid of, right? There's always something that comes out where you're like, damn, I wish I could get rid of that. So I've included it in abundance, I think, in this deck. So if you wanted to make some changes, that's an idea. Maybe you can reduce some artifact enchantment removal. But I like this deck. It's fun. Anyways, I can't wait to play tomorrow night. I can't wait to see how my friend built his deck. And if you haven't built a Marwyn deck, I suggest you do. It's great. It can go off really quick, but when it doesn't feel so bad, because it's a bunch of mana guys or mana folks, mana dorks, whatever you want to call them. So there's not as many feel bads when you lose to a Marwyn deck. But anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry if I butchered names on cards, but that's just me. That's the way I do things. We'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao.